Hey guys, it's McSlorpnort, and today I've got my deck profile, my Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatika deck. I will be playing this deck on stream all week. You can catch that at twitch.tv/McSlorpnort. I should also have all my handles for my socials and everything else in the top right hand corner here. Should be right about there. But otherwise, let's get on to the deck profile. Alrighty guys, and here is my rendition of the Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatika deck. Obviously first we're going to have our triple A-lister, the Invoker. Some list I see bumping down to 2, which is understandable because you don't want to clog on it, and also you just kind of want to see Magical Meltdown right away. That's the only thing you want to see, not really A-lister. But I want to keep it at 3 because I also accompany it with the 3 invocations you'll see later in the deck profile. I just wanted to ensure that I was opening a fusion spell with the Shaddolls. That is like my top priority in the deck, is to get my engine going. So triple A-lister. Next for our Dogmatika stuff is going to be 1 Ecclesia, 1 Fleur-de-Lis. So the big thing here, why we're just playing 1 and 1, obviously the Fleur-de-Lis to add off of the Ecclesia if you need the monster, and then we're also playing the Punishment, you'll see later, to add as Disruption off of Ecclesia. The low monster count, I really wanted to open up Nadir more than I did the actual monsters, just so I can get into the Shaddoll engine off the Nadir. As far as the Shaddoll stuff, I'm playing 8. It's going to be double Wendy, double Hedgehog, 1 Beast, 1 Dragon, 1 Squamata, 1 Aerial. 8, it's good because I wanted the math to work out to where I open only 1 or 2 Shaddolls, and so far it's been testing out very, very nicely. Double Wendy because it tutors the whole entire deck for you. You can set any Shaddoll from deck. Even if you open it pretty slow, you can set a Wendy and still kind of just sit on it. As far as double Hedgehog, I find myself using the first Hedgehog to set up an El Shaddoll play, and then the second Hedgehog for a Shaddoll fusion later in the duel so that I can activate it. Next is going to be our hand trap lineup. We're playing 8 again. Like I said, I just want to see 1. They also serve as a fusion target too, as you see triple Nibiru, double Veiler are our light targets, and then obviously triple Ash. Ash is just super versatile. It'll hurt any deck in the format right now. You stop Lulu, you stop a lot of stuff. So 8 hand traps really works for me. As far as the spells go though, I play the 1 El Shaddoll and 3 Shaddoll fusion. With such a Shaddoll, low Shaddoll lineup, excuse me, I only wanted to play 1 El Shaddoll so that I could add it off of El Shaddoll, or off of Construct or off of Hedgehog, so I could push for game. Otherwise I just wanted to open up the plain fusion, just going second. So that's the reason for that. I found myself clumping on El Shaddoll fusion. I usually open about like 2 or 3, and it would really suck, especially if you don't see the Shaddolls with it. And that's why I'm playing triple Invocation. At least with Invocation, if you open up a correct attribute in a Shaddoll, you can fuse from hand. But also if I open up with A-lister, we can use A-lister as a bait and grab an Ash or like grab an impermanence from our opponent and still have the Invocation and go into our play that way. And to accompany that, it's the Magical Meltdown, obviously searches A-lister. And in this deck, this card is just ridiculous. Being able to activate Shaddoll Fusion, your opponent not being able to negate it, and as soon as your fusion monster is summoned, they're not able to respond to any of the chain link. So if I Shaddoll Fusion and I send Shaddoll Dragon, Shaddoll Wendy, and an Apcalone, I'm able to structure the chain link in a way that Apcalone resolves last, and my opponent will not be able to resolve or activate anything in response to that whole entire chain link. So it's a free negate, a free pop, a free set, all without being interrupted at all. Next is going to be our Nadir Servant. This is the best card in the deck, hands down. Send Apcalone to add Ecclesia, and then Apcalone adds whatever you need, whatever you're missing. If you already have the Schism, add a Squamata, send Hedgehog, add a Shaddoll, send a Beast, draw a card. It does everything for you. As far as the one-of spells, we got 1 Terraforming, 1 Foolish, 1 Upstart. Very, very self-standard. Basically just consistency boost. Lastly, Called by the Grave. This is just to ensure that our plays will go off. And also, it's good just to set going first or even going second. I thought that Called by the Grave would be pretty bad going second, but it is actually very surprisingly good. Against Heraldic Seal, against the Dragon Link deck, it's a cost to tribute. Against Herald, that's also a cost to tribute. So Called by the Grave still works going second. And the 2 traps of the deck is Punishment, obviously another disruption off of Ecclesia, and also our Schism, which is just going to be our way of pumping out Winda outside of El Shaddoll. And obviously, no need to explain Schism. Schism under Meltdown is ridiculous. If your opponent's got a Dragoon, they can't negate the Schism, and you just send the Dragoon away. Very, very good card. For the extra deck, I'm playing double Apcalone, triple Construct, and double Winda as far as our Shaddolls go. Obviously, Winda, you're only summoning against your opponent's turn, so you only need the 2 because it's only being summoned against your opponent's turn. Ab Cologne, I really want to bump up to 3, but the 2 works out. The first one will get you into your engine. The second one usually sits on the board because it can't be destroyed by battle, and not many people read that effect. So that is really good to sit on against slower pace decks. And then lastly, triple Construct. It's a Foolish Burial for the deck. It's the best card. So Construct was banned for a long time for a reason. So we're maxing on this card. As far as our one thing that we send for our Dogmatic stuff, just one Entis. We didn't need any more. I thought it worked out. You know, if I have the punishment or if I need to get rid of something off of Nadir, you can always just send the Entis and do that. And as far as the invoke stuff, I play 1 Algades and double Makaba. Algades can get really beefy in this deck. There's a lot of like exact game pushes that you can have in the deck. Like if you summon Algades, add back A-Lister, banish Construct, and have a Wind on board, then that's exactly 8,000 right there. There's a lot of different ways you can calculate exact game, like Makaba, Fleur-de-Lis, and Ecclesia all in attack mode, or it's game right there too. So lots of game winning boards. Double Makaba, obviously, just so that we can have a second as follow-up. The first one always just first turn's going to be outed. The second one's usually the one that's going to push for game. And as far as links, we just have the 1 Gravity Controller that's going to be able to clear our extra deck fusion monsters so that we can add back our Shaddoll cards from graveyard. Otherwise, obviously, with the Almirage and the Gardna, you're just linking off your A-Lister into something that's light so that you're able to get a light target on field. And lastly, just as our 1 link 2 option is just going to be our Verte Anaconda. Clearly, we're not playing Dragoon or any of that stuff, so this just serves its purpose as just summoning Winda, pretty much. So you just go first. If you're able to make the Anaconda, you make the Winda, and then if they stop that Winda, you still have the Schism to make another Winda during opponent's turn. So it's always good in Game 2 and Game 3 scenarios. And as far as the side deck, lastly, we got 3 Lancia. This is going to be more of a deterrence. Like if I ever wanted to swap hand traps out, like going second against Dragon Link, I usually take out 2 Valor and a Called by the Grave just to send in triple Lancia, and it's a deterrence for them. It does more than just Valor, and then also obviously against the Dinosaur matchup, it cripples that matchup. Triple Gamma Seal, this is against Dragon Link again, or anything that I just have too much troubles getting over. So Gamma Seal puts in a lot of work. It's the lowest attack point kaiju, so it just sucks that we don't have anything under 22 because these guys can still smack over Winda. So next is just going to be our 1 Harpies and our double Lightning Storm. This is all we pretty much need for back row removal. I'm definitely thinking the Lightning Storm is going to come out for Cosmics, but I haven't tested it enough. Lightning Storm's definitely good to be able to destroy monsters too, so it has that purpose outside of Cosmic. Otherwise, we got our traps that I side going first, clearly. It's going to be Magic Deflector. This is very, very saucy in the deck because the only thing that stops your board is a well-timed Kaiju, and that's if you already don't have a Winda and take their special summon, or quick plays and continuous. This stops Qinglong, this stops Cosmic, this stops Droplets, this stops, you know, Chalice, they're signing Chalice. This card is amazing going first, so I highly suggest it. And lastly, just there can only be 1. Usually what I'll do with there can only be 1 is I'll just swap out some hand traps. Like if I know Nibiru's not going to do much, I throw a Floodgate in instead of it. So that's the deck right there. And on to our little combos. It's not much of a combo deck, but I can show you just some sequencing that'll help you throughout your gameplay too. So for our first quote-unquote combo, I'm just going to show you kind of what our starting board looks like, what our best starting board looks like. Clearly we're missing Nadir, but this is just a casual combo with just A-Lister, a Fusion, and then a Shaddoll. So clearly you just start your combo off with our A-Lister, adding our Invocation, assuming it's not going to get stopped. Most of the time it does, by the way. We're going to link that off, and we're going to throw up Almirage, and then make Almirage into Gardna, obviously, just typical Invoke stuff. And then we're going to actually activate Shaddoll Fusion here, and send Gardna and Squamata to summon our Constructs. And, you know, it all depends on what your opponent's playing here. If you wanted to go just for the Beast draw, then you can go ahead and do that. But basically, any Shaddoll monster, doesn't matter if it was Squamata or whatever, off the Construct, we're going to send our Schism. And like I said, that Shaddoll, it doesn't even need to be a Shaddoll that does anything, just as long as you're getting Schism and Graveyard, because we'll link Construct off and grab the Schism. But in this scenario, if I didn't know who I was against, I would probably just send Wendy and then set Beast from deck, and then I'll have a set Beast. You know, let's just go ahead and do that, and I'll show you. Obviously, with Construct, it's going to add back the Schism. But off that school motto, we will send Wendy and set Beast. Or it could be a Hedgehog too. Hedgehog would be pretty good to add a Shaddoll fusion during your opponent's turn if they attack and do it, or if you flip it up during their turn. But and then just obviously just activate the Invocation. Get rid of the Gardna. You probably want to keep Construct and Graveyard as a Schism target. I like summoning Makaba in defense always, just because of Droplets is in the format. Droplets doesn't half your defense. So we'll add back A-Lister. So this is what our basic board looks like. Just Schism, Makaba. This is how you always want to be ending. Is just Schism and a way to back it up. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday Yu-Gi-Oh content, Tuesday, Thursday, usually whatever video game I'm playing, such as Among Us and Call of Duty, if you want to check out that content too. All my handles and my Twitch should just be up in the corner right here. So go ahead and check that out. I'd like to see you guys there, and I appreciate it.